So you're brand new in school, and someone says, could you pop down to the Senko and check if the IEP has been updated for the pupil on MyPlan Plus? Oh, and don't forget to record it on CPOMs. Excuse me, what? If you've ever found yourself nodding while internally panicking, you're not alone. The truth is, school speak is its own language, full of acronyms, shortened job titles, and mysterious systems that nobody explains unless you ask. So here's your calm, clear, no shame guide to decoding the lingo and feeling just a little bit more in control. You are not expected to know everything on day one, so no one expects you to turn up as a walking glossary. It's okay to ask, in fact, it's smart to ask. But I'm going to give you a head start on this so that you've got a bit more of an awareness of what means what. So make a mental note of what you hear so you can build up your knowledge steadily, or better still, jot it down in a notebook. So here are some common acronyms. SEN, or as it really should be, SEND, Special Educational Needs and Disabilities. EHCP, it's an Education, Health and Care Plan. IEP, Individual Education Plan. CPOMS, a digital system for recording, safeguarding and behaviour incidents. EAL, English as an Additional Language. EYFS, Early Years Foundation Stage, so those are nursery and reception age children. KS1, KS2, so it's Key Stage 1, children of ages 5 to 7, and Key Stage 2, children of ages 7 to 11. MyPlan, or MyPlan Plus, is a graduated support plan for pupils with additional needs, often used before an EHCP is considered. PPA, Planning, Preparation and Assessment Time, and that is teacher non-contact time, i.e. they are not in the classroom teaching. Don't worry about, the finer details of these things. Just get sort of settled in with what they stand for. And a top tip, if someone says something that sounds like a code, it probably is. So just ask politely, sorry, I've not come across that yet. Could you tell me what it stands for? Nobody will think badly of you. We've all been there. That, it would be more stupid for you to pretend you know what it is. And the thing is, in primary school, you're not supposed to access your phone. So it's not like you can Google it quickly. So just ask. Generally, people are very happy to tell you once you've asked. Now, let's break down some of the job roles you'll encounter. So, who's who in school? Class teacher, I mean, you're familiar with that, but they have overall responsibility for the class and you may be supporting them directly. A TA or one-to-one TA. So, a TA is a generally class teaching assistant, and a TA and a one-to-one is a TA assigned to support one specific child. LSA or CA, so Learning Support Assistant and Classroom Assistant. Now, these can be used interchangeably with TA, but some schools give them a specific meaning and a particular place in the role. So, in some schools, an LSA, for instance, would be different to a TA. But it's not sort of written in stone, and schools often have their own ideas on this. HLTA, higher level teaching assistant. These teaching assistants can lead classes and cover for the teacher. That's not to say that a TA won't be asked to do that. Again, it depends on the school. An MDSA or MTA, so midday supervisory assistant or mealtime assistant, they support during lunchtime. SENCO, Special Educational Needs Coordinator, oversees provision for students with SEND. Now, they they've trained to be teachers, and usually, and then they go on to take on the role of Senko. DSL, designated safeguarding lead, deals with safeguarding concerns. You'll report to them if you notice a safeguarding issue. Very often, they are the deputy head as well. They might be the head teacher, always a member of this acronym, which is SLT, Senior Leadership Team. So they are the head teacher, deputies, and assistant heads, and they steer the ship. HT, head teacher, and cover supervisor, someone who supervises a class in the teacher's absence but doesn't teach new content. Now, more often than not, they're in high schools mainly. Primary schools still often get supply teachers in who are qualified teachers and do teach new content. Some of them, at least, if they're keen on their job. Apologies for the motorbikes that are going past. I live in a village in Devon, and on the moor, Dartmoor, and so motorcyclists love to ride their motorcycles on our twisty turny roads. Now, you don't need to memorize them all at once, just be familiar enough to follow who does what and know who to go to if you're unsure about something. So just note down what I've told you, because at least then you'll have some idea of who's who. Now, here are some systems and school routines that might feel unfamiliar but will quickly become second nature. So you have morning and afternoon routine. So the morning routine is children come into class, registers taken, and then the first part of the morning before play is either English or maths, and then they go out to play. And when they come back in, it's either English or maths, depending on which they did first. And then in the afternoon, it's usually a topic like history or science or a modern foreign language, art, something like that. And again, for the younger children, you might have a playtime in the middle, but in Key Stage 1, that might have been phased out, and in Key Stage 2, definitely not a playtime. But they often try and squeeze 2 or 3 lessons in the afternoon. Visual timetables. Now, these help children know what's coming up during the day. So rather than a timetable with words, you've got images that show them what's going to happen. Now, great teachers will go through that visual timetable, at least for the morning and then again for the afternoon, because that will really help students understand their day. Golden time or reward systems. Now, often a school-wide behaviour or motivation strategy. So golden time is often for the last part of a Friday afternoon. Playground duty rotas. You will be timetabled to supervise break times. So go and find the timetable for that. If it's not in the classroom on the notice board, then you should find one pinned to the notice board in the staff room, but ask if you can't see one. Safeguarding procedures, how and where to report any concerns. You will get training on this, but we've also got a video on it in this series. Interventions, they are targeted small group or one-to-one learning activities for children who need extra support, and you may well find yourself involved in those quite soon. So every school has its own way of doing things. So the best way to learn it all is to ask, observe, and note it down. You might even want to start a little notebook. I've said that. Just a simple list where you jot down new words, acronyms, and who's who. This doesn't just help you feel more confident, it shows initiative, curiosity, and professionalism. And remember, you're not supposed to know all the lingo yet, but every day you'll understand a little more, and before long, you'll be the one explaining it to someone new. Believe me, it all comes together very quickly. It is like launching a rocket. Initially, an awful lot of energy is put into just going in and picking up on stuff and learning new routines. But But very quickly, that's all gone into your subconscious brain, and you will realise that you're doing things in a more natural way, and that leaves you free then to learn other stuff. Right, so here's a way to take action. So you could start your own school lingo list in your TA notebook, jot down any acronyms or job titles you hear in your first week of school that you don't recognise. Find out who's who on the staff team. So who's the Senko, who's the DSL, who are the HLTAs, the one-to-ones, who are the mealtime supervisors, and who's in the SLT, the senior leadership team. And you don't need to memorize everything, just start learning names and roles. So it gives you some idea, it gives you like a little internal school map, so you know who to go to for certain things. And ask someone to show you where to find the school's staff handbook or induction folder, because often that includes these acronyms and may even explain school routines. And in video 8, we'll look at how to support children during lessons. And no, you don't need a degree to help kids learn. See you in video 8.